Hi guys, it's Dr. Hale. I'm so excited here on the Sleep Well Journey podcast. This is season 2. We have a very wonderful guest for you guys today. I'm super excited, but I wanted to do a couple minutes to just promote the Sleep Well Journey and tell you guys how to find more information. We get asked a lot, both by dentists and by future patients or people that are looking for more information, how they can find a good airway dentist. So I want to talk about that. I will let you guys know on the Sleep Well Journey site, if you are a dentist, we have launched my mentorship program. So if you are looking for information of where to get trained and how I can help guide you in cases, case selection, troubleshooting, what do you say? How do you approach a case? We are finally kicking that off. And I'm very excited about that. That's a huge passion project for me because I feel like I can help more kids and more people if I help more dentists. So I'm very excited about that. Also, if you are a patient looking for a dentist in the greater Houston area, you can go to theairwaydentist.com. You will see information there of how to find us and our locations. If you need information for another state, just DM me on social media. I can definitely get you hooked up. We are so excited about that. So without further ado, today we have the incredible Stephanie Gonzalez. Say hello.
Hi.
And Kyle and I are going to be asking her all sorts of questions about nutrition. She is a friend of mine and she's been a patient here in the practice. And every time she comes in, if I actually do get to see her and I don't miss her in the hallway, we don't shut up. We don't stop talking. So I'm like, they like kick us out of the room and we're in the hallway by the time the next patient needs to go in. So welcome to the Sleep Well Journey podcast.
Yes. Thank you for having me. I am so excited.
Oh, I could just not. I was just so happy you said yes and you were interested in doing this and we got it done quickly. So
wait, can I say how I she was in the waiting room and I had to apologize. Yes. I was like, was it a little scary driving up to the dentist's office? She's like, oh no, I love this place.
Oh
like,
no. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, here we
He's
go.
like, that's rare. That was
Yes. I tell Tara, like, you can just pull up a cot and I will sleep here.
She's serious.
And I even offered her, I was like, I will work here too.
I know. And now here you are being on the podcast and we're gonna make us both famous here, okay? No, I'm just kidding. I know that is not the goal of the Sleep Well podcast.
If you don't know Kalli from Instagram,
oh my gosh, he's gonna roast me forever. No, yeah. Okay, so Stephanie, sorry for our bickering back and forth over here.
No.
Tell us who you are.
Okay, so I am a nutritional therapy practitioner, and I've been doing this for almost 2 years now, running up on 1.5 years. But before I started to become a nutritional practitioner, I was actually a teacher for almost 10 years. So 7 years, I was a teacher. I taught biology, life science to a wide array of kids. So freshmen, 7th graders, 8th graders.
Oh my goodness. And those are hard years. Those are really hard years.
Yeah. Junior high is, man, it really takes a special person to do that. I did that for 4 years.
Wow.
And I was like, I got to go back to the high school because that's where I started.
Yes.
And so then transferred to the high school. But in the process of me going to school for nutritional therapy practitioner, it was like God. It was totally God. And the guy that I had called to do an interview with at another high school in the CCISD district, he said, well, we actually have a position open and it's food science.
Oh, stop. Oh, it gave me chills.
And I was like, yeah, I don't mind doing it at all. So they transferred me out of biology to do food science. And that is literally right up my alley because I love food.
Literally, guys, she brought me snacks. Hold on really quick. Look at this amazing stuff. I mean, like, I'm hungry right now. So I have a whole bag of snacks over here.
Yeah. So I got to teach food science to 11th and 12th graders, which I loved doing. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. Teacher for 7 years, almost 10 years. I love teaching. There's just a lot of the background stuff that I didn't love.
Absolutely.
So, wanted to pursue this passion because nutrition kind of always has been a thing of mine.
Yeah.
I was always a really active kid growing up. Didn't have the best diet, not at all.
Okay.
But always interested in this type of work.
So you're not teaching anymore?
No, I'm
doing
not.
this full time.
I am.
So exciting.
I resigned last year with teaching to do this full time.
Yeah, that had to have been a little scary.
No.
Small business owner. No.
And there's a reason.
Nope.
See if she can just tell me exactly like it is. I'd love it.
I would have told you, yes, it would have been scary probably years ago because I was the person that would say, keep it safe, Stephanie. Don't do anything risky. Now, I don't live like that anymore.
Yeah,
I'm like, no, I'm going to do whatever I want to do, whatever's my passion, and then just go full force heart
can relate.
into it. Yeah.
I can. That is wonderful. Yay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So tell, like, when I first met you, I was doing an airway seminar.
Yes.
At this little Mexican restaurant. I was not healthy. Okay. I didn't know who was there, but it was just Mexican food. And yeah, so you told Kyle you were going to tell him about that.
Yes. Okay. So how did I meet Kalli Hale? Well, actually, I'm so glad that this happened. So a client of mine, I was working with a client. Her name is, I don't know if I can say this, but I'm going to say it. Erin Rice. Love her. Love you, Erin, if you're listening to this.
Shout out.
Yes. And she was a client of mine. I was working with her on nutritional stuff. And then we started talking about dental stuff. And she was like, yeah, I'm in the sleep space. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. What do you do? And she started talking to me about tooth pillow and all these things. And I was like, okay, girl, I have been in need of a dentist near me because I was driving all the way to Katy to go to a biological dentist over there. I went onto the IOAMT website, found one in Katy, went over there, and I was like, this is a far drive to go for a dentist every,
I was in your backyard the whole time and you had no idea.
100%, literally. And so when Erin said that, I was like, she said, okay, here, I have the best resource dentist, Kalli Hale. So put it on a sticky note. It was in my desk at work, because I was still teaching at the time, in my desk, sitting in my desk. And so then the next time we met, she was like, did you follow up? And I was like, no, oh my goodness, pulled it out. And I was like, I got to call today. So I called, and then boom, that's how
it was amazing.
Me and Dr. Hale met.
Oh yeah. And at the end, I still remember talking to you and I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is so much fun. I can't wait to like learn more. And then you came in to see me here and it's just been like a bunch of the family actually ever since.
Yeah.
It's been really fun.
Yeah. I brought my mom to the seminar.
Yeah.
I am one, I love to learn. Like love to learn. You would have asked me that in high school. I've been like, what? What are you talking about? I hate reading. I hate this. No. I have totally morphed into somebody that I never thought I would be.
Right.
Love learning, love listening to podcasts. It's just who I am.
Yeah.
I will always.
Should I ask you what your favorite podcast is?
Yes, the Sleep Well Journey. And there's a plethora of other ones too.
Okay, what's your very distant number 2?
I would say Mark Hyman's podcast.
Yep.
I forgot what he titles it. Doctor's Pharmacy, I think. That one I listen to a lot. Well, and
He's
it makes
got
sense.
Incredible information. I follow him on social media too.
Incredible. Like, and the thing I like about his podcast is that he breaks down the information and is like, okay, this is what everyday people can do food wise to kind of help you with this, area of your life.
Absolutely.
Which I love because, that's, applicable.
Right.
In every scenario.
So when you get a client request, I know you guys are on a wait list right now, but that might be changing soon. I think I saw something like maybe soon you'll have more. But what does that initial assessment look like for your clients?
Yeah. So we go through a process where they fill out paperwork, right? So we give them paperwork, they fill it out for a week. So food journals one, right? Because I have to see what they're eating to make an assessment of, okay, what do I need to do nutritionally for this person to help them reach their goal, whatever that may be. The other piece of paperwork is background information. It's history. So it's like, how are you sleeping? So what time are you going to bed? Are you waking up in the middle of the night? Do you wake up tired? And actually that is the point in time. That sleep section in our paperwork is actually where I have done my own little mini, what do you call it? Mini
like airway sleep studies.
Yes. Because at that point I'm like, okay, this may, and I tell this to all potential clients, this may seem like a really odd question, but it's not, I promise, and I'll explain. Do you, or has your spouse ever told you that you snore, that you grind your teeth? I ask this to every potential client.
Love it, Stephanie. Oh my gosh.
And there's a reason why, because the health part, right, nutritional aspect of it is big, but the mouthpiece of it, most people miss.
Right.
And like you've preached on here plenty of times before, the research is out there. It's just been clouded and drowned out because people are trying to make money.
Absolutely.
And we could probably get more into that too.
You also have to look for it to find it though.
Yes.
So if you don't even know it's there or know that any of the X, Y, or Z symptoms could potentially even be associated with that, you don't even know where to find it.
Correct. Right. And actually just the other day I follow a company, it's a body wash company that I love, and I think you've heard of it, Olivia.
Yes.
Okay. She posted a article. It was a newspaper article on her Instagram, and she circled the date, and the date was 1978 on the article.
Absolutely.
And the article was all about fluoride and its connection to cancer. And I'm like, this just goes to show you that the information has been around for years, decades, hundreds of years. People have been living this way for God knows how long, because that's the way God designed the earth for you to live, right? Without these man-made synthetic chemicals that are causing and wreaking havoc on your body. So yeah, if you don't stop me, I'll keep going.
I told you. Awesome.
Yeah.
This one's going to get the most views. Just you watch. No,
okay. No, this is like, I'm really glad I have
so
a sore
important
throat for this one, because this is the one where
you don't need to talk as much.
No, not at all. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy.
Well, so that's so interesting though, because I think that really sets you apart in that initial assessment, because when we talk about inflammation, obviously so much burden from nutrition. Yep. I almost sent you something yesterday, and this is a tangent, but it was a gastroenterologist, I believe, who made a post about non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. He said, this is going to start to be the number one, not killer, but just the biggest problem we have. And he started, and I turned, and I was like straightening my hair, and I was like, okay, I want to hear you say high fructose corn syrup and seed oils. It never came out of his mouth. And I was like, but I'm like, listen, this just showed up on my For You page or whatever, random. It's so good that you're expressing that this is going to be a huge problem. But yet again, we don't have avoid this, and this.
Right.
Yeah.
100%. They won't say it because they're in the pharmaceutical business. Why would they say it?
Well, I don't know if this guy was, but he might. I mean, I don't know. But it was just like, hey, it was like a PSA. And I'm like, yeah, the PSA needs to read the ingredients on the labels. But when you're talking to your clients, how often is it all the time, I would assume, the ingredients label is foreign. It's such a foreign language.
100%.
Okay.
I get a rare few that are like, yeah, I've gone ahead and started reading labels. And that's only because of my sister, Amy. She's got a large following. I am way behind her in the social media aspect.
So am I, even though he keeps roasting me that I think I'm Instagram famous. I'm like, I'm not. Anyways.
But yeah.
I'm going to tell that story later. Don't worry.
Later. It's okay.
It's a rare few that know. Right. And the only reason that they know is because they look on Instagram for that information and like what to avoid or, things that are good and et cetera. But very rare that they know about the ingredients. And most of the time they will come to me looking at the nutrient facts, right? This is the grams of sugar,
carbs,
how much fat.
Okay.
And this is where a lot of the misconceptions come in to play.
Definitely.
And on our paperwork, we also put a section where it's like, what are the healthiest things that you eat? And vice versa, what are the least healthiest things that you eat? And this gives me an idea of misconceptions of how they're thinking. Wonderful. And so sometimes I do have to address, if I notice something, I'm like, I'll ask them before I say anything. And I'll be like, hey, I noticed here on your healthy eating, you put this, and this, but then on the unhealthy, you put fats like milk and dairy and avocados and things like that. And I'm like, what kind of stems you're thinking of, this is
why
a bad.
Those are bad.
Right.
Oh, interesting.
And so then I'll get an idea and then I'll be like, okay, well, look, I'm here to bust that myth for you. Eat the fat, girl.
See? Eat the fat.
Yes.
Eat the
Oh
fat.
my
That is
gosh.
the
Eat
title.
the fat.
We should make that the title of this podcast episode. Eat the fat.
I'm done.
Please. I love that.
I mean, why not?
And I could probably go into a little biology if you want me to, but
Do it.
fat you need. Why? Your cells are comprised of cholesterol and fatty acids. That is why when you are in biology, back when you were a freshman, a ninth grader, right? And they talked about the phospholipid bilayer, right? That was for a reason.
I haven't heard of that in so long.
That was
that's
for
why.
a reason.
Right.
And now my life is coming full circle. Okay. Because I know that there's going to be a student that listens to this. I pray to God that there is, because all the years that I taught biology, they're like, Miss G, why do I need to know this? What's the purpose? I'm not going to be a biologist. I'm not going to do this. And I'm like, you watch. One day it's going to come right full circle around. I'm like, this is biology. Bio, the meaning of life. This is literally life. How is it not applicable to your life every day? But kids, you have to explain it to them in so many different ways. But yeah. So your cells are made up of phospholipid bilayer. Lipid meaning fat, right? You need fat for your cells to function. Absolutely. If that lipid bilayer is compromised, then foreign pathogens, invaders, bacteria, fungus, parasites have the ability to creep in. Right. And then that's when we see sickness, and that's when we see inflammation, and that's when we see all these autoimmune conditions arise. And that's when we see fatty liver disease.
Thank you. Yeah.
I mean,
don't eyeball me.
It's fun.
Yeah. So,
my mom is going to love this podcast because she's really, really, really heavy and smart into nutrition. You would love her. You guys could go on and on, but I think that's so important. So I'm glad you explained that because I think in my generation, at least our generation, there was kind of this fear of fat. Everything was fat free. The cheese was fat free. The milk was fat free. And all of a sudden it's like, no, we need like raw milk and whole. Everything needs to be whole and creamy and for lots of reasons. So 100%. That's great.
Well, I think that's one of the benchmarks for how long you've lived is how many times has eggs been good and eggs been bad and wine's been good and wine's been bad and fat's been good and fat's been bad.
100%.
Maybe go through the cycles.
I think it's old. I haven't heard old yet, but
okay. But if you even take it further back, literally, I'm going to blow your mind. When you were in school, did you learn about the food pyramid?
Absolutely. Oh, and I knew that was
what was at the bottom of the food pyramid. They pushed oats and rices and
carbs,
grains
sugar
your way. Like should be the bulk of your diet. Yep. No, ma'am. No, sir. This is just like a recipe for making people sick.
Honey Nut Cheerios was the foundation for my food pyramid.
Yeah. But he's not lying though. It's a miracle he made it to 6'4" because I think it was Fruity Pebbles. You told me Fruity Pebbles.
For sure.
I had just really good genes. I don't know because I was not raised that way. My mom was very, very conscious about
genetically.
Food.
I was set up okay, but I'm glad that you found me because if I had been on that same path now, I'm upset when I get to 220 pounds and I'm like, I got to get that number down.
Yeah. Oh, well, you are very tall.
He's 6'4",
so it evens out.
And we work out. We have a trainer. He's wonderful. I mean, we do. Yeah. But we've been dating since I was 15. We were high school sweethearts, and I've been cooking for him.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, and he knows. I mean, he would say that. Yeah, he's like, "What's for dinner?" Like he will always. You'll love this. He always gets mad that we don't have food in the house because we have ingredients. Okay, are you so proud of me?
Yeah.
Because it's a whole. You have to actually make it.
When she's traveling, she's like, "There's food in the pantry." I'm like, "No, there are ingredients in the pantry."
You need Stephanie, obviously, to.
I can assist. You just need my personal phone number, and you can call me now.
How do I make this? No.
Well, I had this. We went on a meeting in Mexico a couple weeks ago, and it was awesome. I got to see one of my dental school friends. I haven't seen him in a long time, and he's always been kind of like a fit, athletic guy. I'd see him in the weight room all the time. And I saw him there and we went swimming and I was like, dude, you are fit. Like what happened? He's like, this is my life now. And like pulled out the app where he does they do all their food prep together on Sunday. And I'm like, God, man, I need something that fits into my lifestyle. Yeah. And then I was thinking about it actually the last couple of weeks. And I was like, that's kind of a cop out because I'm also at the same time trying to be as healthy as I can for as long as I can.
Right.
I think just from the decade I was born in, I'm probably going to live for a long time, but I don't want the last 20 years to be, doped up on statins and HTZ and all these other things.
Yeah.
I want to be drug free for as long as I can. Mm-hmm. And if I'm not willing to meal prep, 52 days out of the year, then I've now squashed my own excuse.
This is the first I'm hearing this, and I'm so excited right now.
Wow. Well, I'm just still struggling with this because I don't know how to cook.
There is different ways of meal prepping. So it doesn't have to be like the nitty gritty, like you have individual containers and
you're weighing every.
Yeah, no, girl.
Whataburger can't meal prep for me.
No, it cannot.
No.
His favorite burger. Yeah, no.
No. You know what? It's okay because I have a child, a 5-year-old child. Okay. I have a 5-year-old child, and he is a very picky eater, and I'm trying to break him out of this habit. And my sister, she was like, Stephanie, just, let him starve. It's fine. And I'm okay with that sometimes. Like, I don't have a heart. And I'm like, look, you're just going to starve because I'm not going to go out and buy food when we have food here.
Exactly. Yes.
And there's other days where I'm like, oh, I don't feel like dealing with this. Yeah, right. And so it's a tug of war.
Human, yeah.
Right. But meal prepping, going back to that, is you can batch cook. So like, what is your favorite protein? Pick a protein for that week, grill it on the grill, saute it in a pan. You know what? The easiest way is just put it in
He's a great griller. No, he can grill.
Okay. Grill. A whole bunch of stuff. A whole bunch of meat. She can do all the sides.
Yep. I can.
And then just store it in the refrigerator. You can make so many meals out of that.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I do batch cooking. Now, I will tell you, there have been like seasons of my life where meal prepping, I was just tired. I was like, I can't do this anymore. And you take breaks, right? It's fine. Mm-hmm. You still eat healthy and you're conscious of what you're putting in your mouth, but I get it. Meal prepping can be something that's hard. So when you tag team, that's great.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, he does well when I cook for him, obviously. And so I think if we can come up with a way that's easy, because he's usually driving to the offices or something. Right. And so the convenience of fast food is definitely, probably I would say more difficult. And just keeping things cold, right? Because he's on the road. So we'll have to talk more. But yeah, I think we can, if he could like grill a whole bunch of, chicken and beef or whatever it is that we want, then we can go from there. But what is the hardest thing about your job?
I would say, without a doubt, managing clients' expectations, right? So
I would say the same.
We live in a world of quick conveniences, right?
Yes.
So everything's got to be fast. Results have to be fast. Why am I not seeing fast results? Why am I getting worse? And to this, I will say that when someone changes their lifestyle, you are not going to feel comfortable for at least 2 weeks or beyond. Right? It takes everybody different amount of time. And that's because you are a unique individual.
Right.
Your genetics is not like the person sitting next to you.
Right.
If we were the same person through and through, we would live a really boring life. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Right? There would be no creativity. Everybody would think the same. However, we don't live in a world like that. So, I would say managing expectations with clients is a big one, because when they follow us on Instagram and they see other clients' successes or their success stories, they are like, well, why am I not seeing that same success? And I have to remind them, you are a bio individual. Just because someone sees a success in a month doesn't mean you're going to see that same success.
Absolutely.
It took me 2 years to get my health on track. 2 years.
Yeah.
Right. And I came from a background of playing sports, being very active, all those things.
Right.
But obviously my health plummeted very quickly because of what I was putting in my body day in and day out.
Absolutely.
And exposing it to every single day. So managing expectations is the toughest thing. And it's like, you have to have a constant reminder with your clients and with the people that, look, it's not going to be a one size fits all.
Right.
And that's kind of what we see in healthcare too. It's like
the
doctors
100%.
have a protocol for whatever. And it's a one size fits all protocol. Yep. That is not health. You are not treating the bio individual when you have a one size fits all.
Yeah. Everybody
because
gets
you metabolize
Everybody gets
you metabolize food different than I do.
Right.
He metabolizes food different than you. Like there's no one size fits all. And that's the key here is that you have to just keep in mind that health is a lifelong thing. I am still, after doing this for a really long time personally, not doing the nutritional practitioner stuff, but like personally with my own health.
Absolutely.
Doing this for almost good 10 years now.
Right.
I still have to work on my health. I
still have to floss my teeth, and I really don't love doing that either.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Exactly. But like, I recently got blood work done, and guess what? I came back and I'm anemic.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Who would have thought, right?
Yeah,
but
same. Oh, yeah, we were talking about that because I am too.
Right. So then knowing that information, that's power. That's knowledge, right? Most people will look at blood work and be like, oh my gosh, am I dying? Like based off of what markers are high, low, etc. Right. And I'm like, no, you take that blood work with a grain of salt and you use that to your advantage to take control of your health, and you take it back, and then you do the things you need to do to get your health back on track.
That takes a certain personality though.
Correct.
Because we are that personality.
Correct.
But it's got to be harder when it's
correct.
When they don't know. Some people don't even know to challenge the narrative. And I don't mean to be like, oh, challenge everything, but I'm just, you should challenge like everything you hear.
Yes.
To get a second opinion. For, like,
really,
everything.
seriously.
But you should. But yeah, that's very powerful.
Yeah.
Wow.
That blood work component is super cool because that's like your halftime scoreboard. Yeah. Like you everyone gets to know the score at the end, right?
Yes.
You get to know the score at the end, but there's no more playing after that. And so when Kalli actually had me a few years ago, I can't remember what kind of prompted it, but we were kind of getting into some diets, and I think like keto was on our radar at one point. And she, every man in my family has hypertension and diabetes.
Okay.
And so, and actually many of the women do too. And I'm the only one that's, so I've surpassed my dad by I think like 2 years before a diabetes diagnosis. But, and so she was trying to help me delay that. I was doing this kicking and screaming because I enjoyed.
He just didn't know anything then, like what he knows now.
And so, but we did blood work, and then I can't remember what was that, the keto diet we were doing?
Probably, but you had skyrocketing blood pressure that nobody could, and I was like, you're not getting on meds for this. You just need to work out and eat better.
Yeah.
And support your immune system.
Yeah.
And we did the comprehensive test, I think on everlywell.com. I've used that for a while. I don't know if are you familiar with that?
I have heard of that, yes.
And then we did it afterwards, and it was really cool to see the improvements. And for a guy like me, like I can't do a diet because all this stuff I kind of relate to like hypertension. I do understand like you will eat some things and feel like crap.
Yeah.
You know, But for most of it, like, I don't know that I could feel better if I ate better. And that was the revealing thing to me, is like, oh, wow, my wife, I tweaked my diet. My wife tweaked my diet. And I start feeling better. I feel like I have more energy. I feel like I sleep better. I feel like I fall asleep faster, and all those things change. And then, but you're right, it's like a cycle. Like, all those wonderful things happened, and I remember those things, but then you one foot falls off the wagon and the whole thing falls off the wagon, and then you're trying to figure. But it's like boiling, like that analogy of boiling a frog in room temperature water steadily.
Yes.
And so now I kind of got back to that point, and so I've set some personal fitness goals for myself for this year. Reached one last week. I'll hopefully reach another one Wednesday. But
you're just being conscious about it. I think, and with your clients too, I think just paying attention, even that takes a lot of effort, because you kind of like living in this, like, oh, just dial a DoorDash, like get whatever kind of thing.
100%.
Right.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, obviously every client's different, but like the amount or the number of processed foods and eating out that I see my clients do before I start working with them.
You're like, you're going to save money just by not doing that.
Correct. 100%. But even though too, like going to the grocery store, look, just to give you some perspective, it is just me and my child, my 5-year-old child, right?
Yeah. Right.
Okay, and maybe it's just because I love food so much, but I spend close to $200 every single time I go to the grocery store.
Absolutely.
Because, it's just me. Like, I could probably hone a little bit back, but like every time I see a new product, I'm like, I gotta get it.
I know. Why not?
Yeah.
But you know what, though? They say that your food budget should be your largest part of your budget. I heard somebody say that, and we are not ingrained that way.
Yeah.
We are like, how cheap can we get the bread? How cheap can we get the eggs? How cheap? And it's like, no, you're the majority of that is your medicine. Like, food is your medicine. And if you don't buy the right things, and that's where I think the lack of awareness of, for me, my biggest thing is seed oils and high fructose corn syrup. Yeah. I think high fructose corn syrup should be banned. I mean, it's like, to me, I would avoid that for my kids like I would freaking drugs.
Yeah, there's so many other things too.
And it's in so many things. People have no idea. You can't find a popsicle. Well, you can if you look, but it's really hard. You can't just go buy popsicles.
Right.
Because every single one has high fructose corn syrup. And he will laugh at me sometimes. I know you appreciate it deep down though.
Very deep down.
Because I just like will not let our kids have it. I just will not.
Good.
Chick-fil-A finally removed, now they still have seed oils. Look at me started. Maybe I shouldn't say brand names of like our favorite drive-through.
Obviously not brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
But they took it out of the Chick-fil-A sauce. Guys, this is going to be embarrassing.
Journey. We are independent.
But I was posting it on social media. I was like, when are you going to take this out of your sauce?
Yeah.
It's still in the ketchup because there's still, and it's like, I don't remember the brand that they use for the ketchup, but it's not, but there's still terrible things in those sauces, but they took that out at least. I'm like, okay, we're making progress.
Yeah.
Like,
very slow progress. But the crazy part is like, how did we get here?
we stopped paying attention.
How did we get here?
Yeah.
That's just,
it was our generation.
It's the craziest thing. How did we go from what we used to do, which is like literally hunters and gatherers, making or having your own garden, like, and actually my dad still grows his own garden, which I love because I go over there.
We have a tower garden.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's amazing.
See, I want brownie points here, okay?
That's awesome.
I get all those points.
I know.
It's
okay.
my tower
Sorry.
garden.
We're like,
he's keeping
yes.
Callie buys a dog, I feed it. Callie buys a tower garden, I grow it.
Okay, we're not going there. Keep going. Keep going. We're interrupting it.
Okay, shoot. I forgot the train of thought.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. This is awesome. I love this.
Hunter and gatherer, how did we get here?
How did we get here, right? And obviously I know the answer to this question, and I know you know the answer to this question is because money talks, right?
Yes,
money talks. So then that means that information gets slowly covered up, right?
Absolutely.
And slowly covered up. And now it's like an onion, right? Where you have to peel back layers and layers and layers and know how to research and know how to find information.
Which the average person cannot.
No, because they don't have time with such a chaotic life we live nowadays, right? With work, children,
the expectations,
extracurriculars, all kinds of things, right? And that's why people turn to people like you who are very intelligent in their field and know what they're talking about for that information to guide them in the right direction.
Right.
Which, I feel like nowadays nobody has an excuse because everybody has an electronic device. So,
the
doing
information's there. Right.
Research
Absolutely.
should be a little bit more easier. Whereas when I was going to school, I had to go to an encyclopedia at the library.
Right.
But it's okay. Neither here nor there.
Yes. Yes.
So one of our really good friends, one of my really close friends, my best friend from dental school, is from Croatia, and he immigrated over here during their civil war, and they just joined the European Union a few years ago, And one of the things that he said they changed when he went back home after they joined the European Union was they shut down all the food markets. Now, these are food markets that have been around for hundreds of years. Like these are not like, this is not like
it's like the grocery store equivalent,
it's not
right?
like a one day only farmer's market like we have outside our malls and
Right.
whatever. This is like where people go to get fruit
Right.
and meat and things like that. And they shut those things down for the interest of safety. But you have this population that has been there for hundreds of years, and there's no one just, if people were dying left and right, and I guess I would have to assume this, that people probably would not go to those things and do and practice that way. And so
Right.
I think it's really interesting that farmers markets are novelties here in the United States. They're not like this is a great thing, but I don't know this, but I assume if a farmers market is not something that's regularly attended by the same group of people every single time, it's like, oh, look, a farmers market on your way home from church,
Right.
Right.
So
Yeah.
but it's really cool because Kalli does take this really seriously at home, which is really frustrating for someone who does not know how to cook, because I cannot just eat what I want to eat. I cannot just eat. I'm just sitting there. I'm like, I guess I'll have some water.
Or cereal, and that's the biggest thing that we've had to cut out and try to change.
I
was
got you.
how
I
much
got you a
cereal.
cereal alternative.
Okay, good. Absolutely,
Tastes
that'd be
great.
great. Okay, good.
That's good for you.
Oh,
Yes.
good. I'll take
Even
it.
for our kids, because they see if they see us wanting something, they're going to want it, and I'm like, we have to
Yeah.
stop that. Yeah.
You can do it. You can do it. Cooking's not a science. Look, you just put whatever in a
does
pan.
Major oral surgery. Okay, this guy.
You don't have to overanalyze it,
I'm
I
like,
promise.
cooking is easier than everything you do.
What flavors do you like? Like, what seasonings do you like? Are you a spicy person? Are you a mild person?
Mild.
Okay, so then salt, garlic, pepper.
Yes, yes,
I
the
like,
basics.
I like
Onion.
honey and nuts kind of wrapped around in a circle.
Honey Nut Cheerios. Oh my gosh, Tony.
Sorry.
No,
I'm not trying to
you
break
were
it.
eating.
That's hilarious.
You know, the other day I was telling her that I started ordering stuff from Thrive, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Have you heard of this brand? This brand?" She's like, "Of course." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so late to the party." But I do appreciate that you appreciate it because it's hard
do.
work.
I was
I
totally
definitely
going to
appreciate
bring y'all some pizza rolls that are good.
The snow days?
Yeah,
I told
I
you I
have-
had them. Yes.
I have a ton.
Oh, it's okay. I just ordered more. We're good. We're
Okay,
good. Yeah,
okay. I was
guys,
gonna bring
snow
y'all some, but I was
days
like,
is healthy pizza rolls.
Where is she going to put this?
Yeah, true. Yes. Okay, so I have a question for you. Probably a controversial topic, but we're
I
here.
love
So
that. Do it.
Please.
how are you combating semaglutides and the rage of people using that now?
Semi-glutides.
Ozempic.
Okay. Yes. I actually have a client who is currently on it. And I have been telling her that if there were one medication to get off of, it would be that one.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she has diabetes.
Okay.
She's taking 2 diabetic medications. She's on metformin and she's on Ozempic.
Okay. So the non-diabetes people, though, the people for weight loss.
Horrible. Like you are
Okay.
literally destroying your body from the inside out.
Okay. Well, yeah, I told you it was going to be a controversial.
So no, there's no
But what do you really
controversy
think?
here.
I know.
There's no
I know.
controversy
I'm worried
because
too because I have like people I just totally love that are on it, and I'm worried about the paralysis stuff and the lack of
the
motility.
the biggest thing that they're doing is they're suppressing their appetite. That's what Ozempic is
Okay.
known for.
Okay.
Or what's the other name? Wegovy, I think is the other one, whatever. They are suppressing the appetite. When you suppress appetite, that means they're not eating as much. So now your body's having to adapt, right?
Right.
So just kind of, I guess, as another example to give you more perspective. Let's say somebody was trying to, back in the day, lose weight, get skinny, like cardio was pushed for many, many years to lose weight, right? Let's say you restrict your calorie intake, right? Like you're not eating as much food. Your body is going to go into what's called a starvation mode. And when your body goes into starvation mode, guess what it's going to do? It's going to hold on to fat because fat is a long-term energy storage.
know,
So then
I
when the
know.
body has nothing to eat, right? Nothing is fueling it. It's going to slowly eat the fat away, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the only energy it has because it doesn't have quick sources of energy anymore. You're not feeding it. So then what happens when that fat is no longer there? Well, what else does it have to feed on? Muscle. Right. So if you see these shows, I think what is it called? Survivor or something like these
Yes,
TV
yes,
shows
yes,
where they
yes.
go out in the wild and they have to like find their food and hunt and all this. Well,
They get so skinny.
They go, yes. Why? Why? Because
they
the body's
burn-
eating their muscle because they have nothing to feed it.
Yeah.
So again, it kind of just goes back to that,
Told you
right?
love her, yeah.
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 It goes right back
I know
to
I was
that.
worried about it too. But I try to stay out of it unless somebody's like my patient or whatever. I don't like, but I can, even my personal trainer has told me before, like, it's just difficult because like you said, people are wanting the quick fix. But if some people have struggled for a long time to get anything else to work, what is your advice for them? Just do
right. Well, then you have to find the root cause.
Yeah.
Everything happens for a reason, right?
Right.
In the body.
And that's what we do with Jaws.
In the body, there was a doctor I listened to on a podcast. Ha ha ha. And I loved what she said because it's true. The body keeps count and score of everything that you have done to it. From the time that you were 10, 5, 3, everything that you've done from that point on determines where you were going to be health-wise down the road. Right. So if your mom breastfed you, great. You have really great immunity. If your mom didn't breastfeed you, guess what? That could be something down the road that could hinder you in your health or lead to something. Exactly. So your body keeps count and score. So for people that are struggling with weight loss, you need to find the root cause. There are many root causes. Right. It can be a pure fact that you're consuming way too much sugar in your diet. Even natural sugars like maple syrup, honey, all of those, you have to get rid of it. It's still sugar, right? It's still sugar. The body does not know the difference between healthier sugar and not, right? It is still the sugar. It's still going to spike your blood glucose no matter what you do, right? And we have a blood glucose no matter if we're eating or not, right? So what we eat matters because then that determines, okay, what symptoms am I going to feel after I eat this food, right? So sugar intake, Thyroid's a big one for women, especially that are struggling to lose weight, looking into thyroid health. Hormonal imbalances are a huge thing for women. Why? Because we give birth. That throws your hormones out of whack. After you give birth, your hormones are trying to rebalance, right? There are so many factors for women that make it hard for them to lose weight and to come back after giving birth, during pregnancy, all the things, right? We unfortunately get the short end of the straw when it comes to that stuff. But that's okay. So thyroid's a big one. Liver dysfunction. Okay. So every client that I have worked with, I have noticed a pattern. And most of the autoimmune conditions, most of the things that they're dealing with, it all leads back to the liver, right? Absolutely. And liver does over 500 functions in your body. It's scanning your entire blood volume in your body to make sure that your blood is good, that it's clean, that there are no pathogens or invaders in there. It's doing things like making cholesterol. Right. It's doing things like making T3 and T4, which are the hormones that are secreted from the thyroid. It is doing a bunch of stuff. And it's also responsible for detoxifying any type of medications you're taking. It's responsible for detoxifying alcohol that you're consuming. Right. It's responsible for detoxifying sugar you're consuming because fun fact that your liver cannot tell the difference between sugar and alcohol. It is the same in the liver. Right. Doesn't know the difference. So it has a big burden. And so if your liver is very burdened and it is congested, then that can back up everything else in the body. So it backs up digestion. How? Because it's linked to the gallbladder because it makes bile, and bile helps the digestive pathway because it coats the bolus that comes out of your stomach, right? So it impedes literally everything in your body. Right. And that's just to name a few. Like there's a plethora of other things nowadays that we're exposed to that weren't a thing back then, right? Like heavy metals, pesticides, herbicides, those bog down the system. Mold, mycotoxins. Oh yeah,
we know about those.
I do too, right? Currently, living in some myself, but and it impedes your health. Like for a while, I was feeling really fatigued and I didn't know why. And then I got my blood work back. I was like, oh, okay, I'm anemic. So that's part of why I'm feeling fatigued. But then I also know that I am living in a place where there is some mold. And so I'm breathing that in, and good thing I have air filters to kind of help me.
Yes, yeah. What's your favorite air filter?
I do Air Doctor.
Okay, awesome. I know that, but I just want to be able to say it.
Yeah, Air Doctor. Air Doctor.
We're all about the promos.
Well, I mean, kind of. We don't get anything for this. So
except
whatever.
for Chick-fil-A.
She's the reason that we have the amazing water filtration in our house, by the way.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. No,
you're so welcome.
Thank you, Stephanie.
I wish I had a water filtration system.
Yeah, she turned us up. We chose
I like
Radiant
it,
Life.
but I did not enjoy the plumber management of that project.
But he loves it now. And actually, interestingly, with our tower garden, I used to really, Friendswood water's not good.
That is a nice part.
And I would have to let the water dechlorinate.
Right.
With the sunlight. And or treat it constantly in the tower garden because the water coming out was so acidic. We literally filled the thing up, checked the pH. It was beautiful.
Nice. That's amazing.
Like, what? I was not used to that. I was like, Kyle. So anyways, but that's good. If you guys are, want to have really fresh water fed from the source, so it's in your showers and everything else, then DM her. No, don't ask me. Anyways, that's so exciting. So, okay. So with sleep apnea and sleep disorder breathing, bringing this first full circle with nutrition.
Yeah.
I have heard Matthew Walker speak. I'm sure you've heard of him. He's incredible podcast and social media stuff, but he went to Harvard. He's like the sleep guru, and he talks about how exercise, for example, is futile if you have obstructive sleep apnea because you will not recover at night. So when it comes to the inflammatory burden on our bodies when we stop breathing and we go into fight or flight mode, how can we correlate that also? Like also if your nutrition is terrible and you've got that inflammation, how do we link these two together?
Great question. So yeah, I mean, obviously if your diet's horrible, you have compounding inflammation there with the sleep disordered breathing, 100%. Now, to that note, like what I like that you mentioned is the exercise piece, right? Mm-hmm. So most people don't know this, but exercise is something, they kind of couple it in with something that's called a hormetic stressor. Okay. It is a stressor to the body. Hormetic stressors are essentially stressors to the body that are good.
Yes.
Right? And the reason that they're good is because then it allows the cells and all the stuff in your body, the mitochondria, to be able to adapt so that when you are in the face of that stressor again, that you can do it even better, right?
Right.
So a couple other examples of hormetic stressors would be like holding your breath, right? Temperature oscillations. Cold
showers.
Plunges, cold showers. Those are hormetic stressors and they are good for you, right? Obviously, my recommendation wouldn't be to do those things all the time. They have their time and their place.
Of course.
Because I know things catch trend and people are like, should I do this every day?
Yes, I know. So true.
But no.
Like lip taping and the rest of it.
Right. Yeah. But the great thing about exercise, and in this instance, if somebody is already struggling with sleep disordered breathing, right, and they're already in a fight or flight mode and they're already stressed out while they're sleeping, then doing exercise is just going to compound that. So it wouldn't be beneficial for inflammation or for the stress factor. Not at all. Right. And to that note too, like even with people with certain autoimmune conditions, exercise you have to be careful with, right? So for a woman that has thyroid function issues, low thyroid function issues, let's say.
Hashimoto's even.
Right. Hashimoto's. You don't want to do exercise that it's going to, like for instance, like a high hit impact workout.
Right.
You don't want to do that because that's too much stress on the body and the body's already under stress because it can't make enough of the hormone. Right. It's not going to start generating.
People say, it doesn't work for me. I can't ever lose weight. It's like, no, we just need to do it differently.
Right. So going for those like low impact things like walking on an incline or maybe doing Pilates where it's like you're in a reformer and you're still activating your muscles, but you're not like doing a hard cardio workout, if that makes sense.
That's my least favorite.
He hates cardio.
Oh,
and he's an ice hockey player.
Yeah, I hate cardio too. I'm with him. I hate it.
I make fun of him for not going and running with me because I do love to run.
Yeah.
And not long. I know it's not like I run 5 miles a day or anything, but I'll go run in between my personal training sessions, which are heavy weightlifting, which I love.
Yes.
But he will not. He hates running.
No, running's for what you do when you see a bear, not for fun.
100%. I agree with him.
But you deadlifted what? Or do you not want to say on the podcast?
Yeah, I look bigger than I look bigger than I am strong, so I don't want to say the number.
It was still really impressive. Why not? She'd probably we can delete it.
315 pounds. I haven't done that in like 2 years since my injury. So
nice.
So 3 plates.
I think it's great. Like I'm like really proud of you.
That's amazing.
Okay, look.
It's okay.
I do unassisted pull-ups, which I'm very proud of.
I love your reaction. Thank you, because
that's great.
I did have one other person who is like 5'4", and he was like, "Oh, for a tall guy, that's fantastic." And I was like, "I don't think that makes a difference." He goes, "No, it makes a huge." He boosted my ego more in 5 minutes than Kalli has ever in my whole life.
Let me just tell you something. You know why it's good? Because you are tall, right? Which means you have a further way to go down than a shorter person does. Yeah. And there is science that's backed behind that, by the way.
That's what this guy said.
Favorite person.
That's what this guy said. I left glowing. People probably thought I was pregnant when I left there.
That's awesome. I love that analogy. But there is science behind that. So you should be proud of yourself. That's a lot of weight to have to lift.
Yeah.
Believe me.
Yeah.
And it didn't hurt, which was the best thing ever.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Do you do anything like to help support while you lift weights? Like, do you do like the compression bands or anything like that? Like if you're doing squats or anything?
No, we've worked up to this. I mean, he doesn't even want me doing like the weightlifting
Because
belts.
he had shoulder surgery.
Good,
So,
don't.
Yeah.
Don't, because then your body acclimates to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need
That's
it.
his thing.
You
There's
don't
not
need
a
it.
weight belt in that whole place, I don't think.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Well, this is so fun.
That's
I've
amazing.
just had so much fun with this. So what is the biggest thing nutrition wise people should like? What's your best? Like, what do we avoid? What's your best advice?
Ooh, okay. Yeah, this is a tough one.
I know.
Okay, but it's actually easy. It's tough, but it's easy,
Okay.
right? So essentially, and we preach this on our Instagrams. We preach this with our clients. We preach this with our students, our course students that we're currently with. And it's literally just focus on whole foods. So when you're in the grocery store, go for whole foods, that things are grown from the earth is what you're looking for, right? So nothing that's a cracker or in a package or anything like that that's processed, right?
Yes.
Whole foods. So think of proteins, meats, seafoods. Think of fresh fruit and vegetables. Think of grains. Well, I say grains, but I'm always really elusive when I say grains.
Okay.
Because grains are a carbohydrate. They're a starchy
Right.
carbohydrate, which depending on what you're struggling with, I typically have clients avoid.
Right. Okay.
Right. But is a whole food. So if you're eating rice, at least organic is key, right? Because it's heavily sprayed. And then think of like potatoes and all the other things, right? So sticking to whole foods is really my biggest piece of advice. And obviously, too, if you can and you're really interested in learning to read the ingredients, I highly recommend reading the ingredients labels on everything, even your meat. Even your meat, because I know
absolutely.
people will go to the meat section, right? And there will be meats that are already pre-seasoned.
Right.
Well, lo and behold, you would bet your bottom that
Got
those
MSG and a whole bunch of
got
other stuff.
all of that crud in there. And that's where they get people because again, it's going back to quick and convenient.
Right.
Well, look, I don't have to season it when I get
Exactly.
home. I don't have to marinate it and wait for it for an hour. I can just put it on the grill because it's already seasoned. Well, guess what? For that convenience, you're paying a price with your health.
Absolutely. Well, that's
man.
mic drop.
Dang, golly. I was like,
That's the promo clip right there
I
for
felt the
this.
shockwave coming across. I was like, oh.
Isn't that great? That's I
have to know, like, I don't know your background that well. So you are super passionate about this, and I can't ever imagine there being a Stephanie that was not this passionate about it. So like, when was that moment? What was that moment? You mentioned you were doing athletics in high school, and then you've kind of alluded to, I know we're already into this, but like, if you don't mind sharing, like, what was the, you know what, screw this, I got to change something? Because it seems like this is a passion of yours, and usually I don't run into people with a passion this deep for something like this, unless there was a moment. So if you don't mind.
Oh, no, I would love to share, actually. There is nothing I would not love to share, honestly. I'm an open book. Catch me like years ago, and I'd be so shy. I was a very shy person, but we're going to get on topic here. So good question. I love that question. And the reason why is because I am super passionate because I struggled big time with my health. So really didn't notice because I didn't know any better back then. So in high school, when I was a kid, ate really unhealthy. So I'm going to jog your memory. You're going to laugh. So eating things like, the Idaho potato flakes that you would pour water into.
Oh, yes.
And things like eating literally gobs of shredded cheese. I loved cheese when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that was a thing.
Yeah,
I
like
know.
just grabbing the shredded cheese
And just eating it.
straight out of the bag.
Yeah.
Loved it, right? Also chips. Like me and my sister would dip our chips in the mashed potatoes.
That's fantastic.
There were many days where my mom was like, look, there's no dinner, just fend for yourself. And we would grab anything in the pantry. It didn't matter what it was. It could be like the macaroni and cheese quick things that you throw in the microwave. It could be some deli meat. Like, we lived in a really tiny house and there were 6 of us. And so I shared a bedroom with my sisters, and then one lucky person got their own bedroom, which was not me ever, which is okay. Not complaining. I love my family.
That's so funny.
But yeah, we didn't have a lot of, money to spend on, and we didn't really know about high quality stuff like that at the time anyways.
Right.
So then fast forward, go to college. I was even worse going to college, right? So when I got to college, and obviously I had a roommate, I played collegiate softball. I got a scholarship to play softball. So had a roommate, and my eating habits went off the charts. I was eating out every single day, not joking, for every meal.
Yeah.
McDonald's, Whataburger,
Sure.
A place called Fuzzy's Taco Shop. This is something that's not really common in Houston, but it is in Dallas, which is where I went to school.
Yeah.
I even worked at Fuzzy's when I was in college. Yes. And so,
The discount.
I'm on a budget, guys.
Exactly. So eating out literally every day. I cannot tell you, like, my acne, like I had acne it started really bad when I was a senior in high school, and then just progressively got worse when I was in college, and then suffered greatly from constipation. It came to a point in time that even too, when I was in a Lou phase, like I was kind of lost. Like I didn't know what my identity was. I stopped playing softball. That was my identity.
Wow.
Right? Like playing sports was my identity. Like I hardly correlated with sports.
Yeah.
When I stopped playing sports is when I was like, well, what the heck do I do with my life? What am I doing? Right? And so I kind of went through a phase where I was just lost.
Yeah.
And of course my eating was still the same. Like it didn't change. And got to a point where I was like, what am I doing with my life? Got kind of depressed a little bit.
Sure.
Didn't know what I was going to do. Saw other people like, you know, having career fields already. I'm like, I'm still in school. Like, what's wrong with me?
Sure.
You know, all the things. Like comparison is the root of all evil, right?
Absolutely.
Comparison just really destroys people, which I'm glad I learned, you know, back way when.
Yes.
And so then when I got home, so stopped playing softball, finished my courses that I was taking in Dallas, and then moved back here to Houston. And it took my sister to tell me, like, Stephanie, you need to look in the mirror. Like, you've gotten so big. Like, I was too big for my stature. And she's like, you need to look in the mirror and like really look at yourself. Like you've never been this big before. And so it took me to look at a picture. When I got home, I looked at a picture that was taken of me, my sister, my dad, and then my sister's husband now. And I was like, oh my goodness. Like I didn't realize how big I got.
Wow.
I blew up. Like I was really inflamed. And I was like, okay, enough is enough. So when I moved back home, I decided, okay, I'm going to do better. So I started eating better. I didn't know about ingredients. I didn't know about high quality stuff yet. I just started eating better so that I could lose all that weight and inflammation that I had essentially gained.
Yeah.
Started eating right. And then it was a year into that. After a year, then I started like, well, what the heck am I eating? Like I studied science in school. I have a bachelor's in biology. So what am I eating?
Yeah.
Like there's science behind the food. So I need to stop for a second and I need to think about what I'm putting in my body. And so then I started looking at YouTube videos of people that were already knowledgeable in this area. And I really quickly got consumed and I was just enthralled. Every day I would be on end, hours on end with the time that I had, learning from people that knew about, hey, you need to look out for these ingredients and all this stuff. And from then on, it was just like, boom, it took off. And personally, like I did it for years for myself because I wanted to get healthier and kind of back to what I, in my mind, knew. Like I was an athletic person, get back to that kind of ideal mindset or physique, I guess you could say. And then from there, kind of had a passion for just teaching in general, right? I didn't know I had a passion for teaching because I actually went to college for nursing.
Oh, wow.
But I stopped because I applied to nursing schools. And in that lieu of time, I was like, I can't do anything. I'm not good with just twiddling my fingers. I need to go do something. So I got a job as a substitute teaching in schools where I live. And then one of my trainers, she was the trainer there when I was in high school. So she was still there even after I was done with college. And she goes, you need to teach here. And so started getting in with the subbing and then volunteered my time to coach the softball team there and helped out with the softball team because I love it.
Yes, yes.
And so then I was like, dang, I just need to teach because I love kids. Like I really love kids. I love teaching kids.
Me too.
They will make you laugh.
Yes, they will.
On your worst days, if you step into a classroom, I can guarantee you they will make you laugh.
Absolutely.
And it's not because that they're trying to be funny. They'll be brutally honest with you and be like,
absolutely they are.
Are you okay? Like there was so many times where they were like, Miss G, you seem mad. Are you okay? And I'm like, no, not today. I'm just not feeling it today. And they're like, it's okay, Miss G. We're going to help you. We're going to lift you up. And I'm like, that's so nice.
So sweet.
Yeah. So the kids are the greatest. That's why I love teaching. But yeah, that's kind of background. And then from teaching, I kind of like that kind of fast forwarded my passion for the nutrition part too. Mm-hmm. Like I love teaching. I love learning. And this for me is I'm teaching adults now. Or technically I am teaching adults because I'm not really certified in like pediatric.
Sure.
But I could probably,
obviously
adapt,
help with that
and help.
Yes. Of course.
So that kind of just propelled that passion even more. I was like, yeah, I got to teach people. And I even got a lot of my students to start reading labels and they come back to me and they're like, Miss G, I started reading my labels, but then I'm like, crap, now I'm reading labels. What do I eat now? Because I don't have the money to buy something else. And I'm like, it's okay.
That's hard.
Yeah. It's just about awareness. Like you instill this thought into
when
them.
They're little.
Yes. And
we
don't
fix
expose
everything when they're little, guys.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. But yes,
that.
Hopefully that answered that question. But yeah, that kind of was the fast forwarded version. Hopefully I didn't spend too much time ranting.
No, not at all.
No,
The passion
we're not
just
under any
exudes.
time constraint. I know I said like 30 to 60 minutes. Usually we just say that just in case. Because frankly, I say that because I don't want to sit here where someone's kind of lame, and you are not lame.
No, hopefully I'm not lame.
No.
I really could, like, if we weren't sitting down, I'd probably be like more, I'm a hand gesture person.
Yes,
like
I just want to know who are you guys going to interview next time? Because I'm going to take one off, and you come back
And
you
she's
sit
gonna
here.
sit here,
We'll put
Amy.
some turkey over here to interview.
I would love that.
I think we just
Some
need to make
turkey.
sure it agrees on the day. This job does not pay well. Okay,
I don't
it
care.
actually pays nothing. Now that I think about it.
I don't care. I have said this before. If I could work pro bono, I totally
She
would.
literally said she'd be a free employee. I'm like, no, Stephanie,
Yes.
we got big goals. It's okay. We'll figure something out. That is so exciting. Well, this has been awesome. I think we've definitely full circled the importance of nutrition and sleep, which is huge, and reading the labels and understanding. I mean, you even went in depth with how our liver filters things, which I think is fantastic because we learn it in dental school and medical school, but just not, you just forget it. You move on and you're focusing on other things. So that was really helpful.
Well, we learn
I'm
those
so
things, and then we
excited.
also think about the connection between just some drug that can be prescribed, and all of a sudden we're
Exactly.
addressing this pathway.
Yep.
And I think that's what all this is about, or pharmacy is about addressing the pathway. And there's so many, like, patients ask us all the time. My father-in-law, her dad, has been saying this for, 200 years. And it's that, brushing your teeth is not going to keep you from getting cavities.
Right.
This is not. I know he's pretty bad about brushing. I'm pretty bad about brushing. But it's what
No, it's
you
not gonna-
eat.
This is you.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, we have patients who come in
No,
and,
but seriously,
and are missing most of their
it's
teeth,
not-
but
right.
but we believe them. They're probably brushing their teeth 4 or 5 times a day, but they eat like crap.
Yeah, no, it has more to do with the nutrition. Right.
And
Like
so we
what
tell
he's getting at.
it's his story, but I'll share it as if it's mine. Like, we call it the sugar talk, and we give it to a patient. And we say, look, you can have whatever you want for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You have a bowl of ice cream. You can have an entire cake, but you need
Which
to
she
eat
would
it.
hate, but just for the
Yeah,
point.
no, I mean,
Yeah.
please eat healthy, but to disconnect just on the tooth side. And we always say, like, your waistband, you have to buy a new belt every couple of months if you do this.
We do say you're going to give.
But if you just ate your food like you were supposed to eat it, and you weren't snacking and you weren't drinking anything with sugar or snack, like, there's sugar in some Altoids, there's sugar in gums, there's sugar in so many things. Like, people will say, oh, I don't drink that much sugar, I don't drink that much Coke. Well, they'll open up one Dr. Pepper at 10 o'clock and it'll last until 5. Every time you take any kind of sugar, whether it's a simple or complex sugar in your mouth, your bacteria start to create an acid, and that's what breaks down your teeth. And it's a cycle. Yeah. And so if
the pH drops for 20 whole minutes with one sip of Coke.
Yeah, but not only that, you're probably killing off the microbiome in your mouth anyways.
You
too.
are. Yes.
And so it's this really cool thing. We have the sugar talk, but patients, we tell them, oh, yeah, I don't know, brush if you want, like, brush once. Yeah.
No, we definitely tell our patients to brush and floss.
Yeah,
but
we do the whole thing. But I also tell them, if you had to pick, you floss.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
You don't need to brush your teeth. Now, you'll get buildup on your teeth for sure.
Right.
But you won't get cavities.
Absolutely.
If you eat 3 square meals a day like you're supposed to eat, and if you wanted like a sweet, you do it like a drug. Don't make that Snicker bar last for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Please
Just
don't. But
shoot it down and that's it.
And please don't eat Snickers. But
Well,
my
and don't
favorite game.
snack like he said too, because that's
Exactly.
going to exhaust
Absolutely.
digestive enzymes
You never
and
give
hydrochloric acid.
Yep.
Yep.
You're not
and
giving
you're never
your,
giving the teeth a break.
yeah, and you're never giving
Right.
your gut a break either.
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
It all correlates, guys.
But people don't realize that the stomach communicates with the parotid, and it literally what hits the stomach changes the saliva in your mouth.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that gut oral connection is why we're besties,
Yeah.
because it's
Well, look, a fun fact, and I know that's been booming right now, but like how people are talking about the gut and brain, like there's a connection between the gut and brain. I'm here to go further. Guys, the brain is connected to everything in your body.
everything.
Everything. It's not just the gut.
Right. I know.
Everything. How do you think you're standing and living and walking and breathing and all the things? Is because your brain is connected to everything. If it wasn't, then you wouldn't have hormones and signals and neurons and all these things
Absolutely.
happening.
Absolutely.
Like, there's a connection to everything.
And what hits your gut affects those connections.
100%. 100%.
Well,
Yeah.
so when I started keto, I was absolutely terrible with my diet. Like, so my normal day at work, when I was working full time in our Houston office, there's a Subway across the street. Every single day at lunch, I would go get a meatball sub, 12-inch meatball sub, and 2 chocolate chip cookies, and that was with a Sprite. Every single day, that's what I did.
Kills me.
It's okay.
And so Callie's like, look, I actually do like you.
And I do.
So I
want
need
to
you to stay around
a long time.
And that's when I did that first round of blood tests. And then I just cut that out. But that's when I think I did start keto. And I'm very goal oriented. And since I knew I was aiming for a number, I was like, I'm going to destroy this. Well, I got keto flu like the next day or 2 days later.
The extreme.
And I didn't believe
it. No carbs.
Like crazy.
I didn't research this diet at all. I was just going to do what my wife says because I'm a good husband. I'm a great husband, actually.
That's
great
good.
Husband.
That's good. Happy wife, happy life, right?
Thank you.
And I was like, there's no way this can be from my food. How come? I literally felt like I had the worst flu of my life. Body aches. I felt like I had a fever. I didn't actually have a fever. I just felt like I had a fever.
Right.
But I felt so bad. She made one butter noodle bowl, and I one bite. It was not even a full minute, and I was back to normal. And I was like, and that's when I was like, are you kidding me? So
Brought his blood sugar up.
My father-in-law is also doing the keto diet at the same time, and we're we got the little sticks that you take to the bathroom.
You pee on.
Tells you how.
Yes,
how
I know
deep
what you're talking about. Yeah.
And he was like, "How are you so deep in keto?" Like, because I was like off the scale dark. The darker, the more in keto.
It's
and
like
I was
purple, black. Yeah.
And ever since he said that, I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to beat you every time." Like, because we went to work together.
They're not competitive.
We had boiled eggs together.
It's okay. I love it.
And I mean, well, I was like, I'm going to win this. I'm going to win this. I lost
Athlete.
like 20 something pounds in 2.5 months. And I was like 222. It got down to almost 200.
Yeah.
And I mean, but I was walking delirium. Like I was literally playing the game every single day.
I had to take over.
I when I was with patients, sometimes I would have to step out because I felt like I was dizzy.
Oh my goodness.
And but I was committed to winning this stupid thing. But I didn't even know what the prize was.
I'm so thankful for.
And then it did help my blood sugar a ton. Well, the diet probably didn't help my blood sugar. It was the not eating the constant sugar all the time.
Yes,
because like
constant.
I would stop at the gas station and get a Reese's. I would stop
and a Dr. Pepper or whatever. I'm like, oh my gosh.
And so I just cut that out. But then I realized I was like craving it. Like I was addicted to it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It was
like
100%. I was addicted
to
it. And it was almost a year before, like, I never had cake at the birthday parties. It was almost a year before I had another, like, really traditional sweet.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I probably had honey and I had.
Yeah. I mean, I found alternatives to keep you upright.
I had the sugar alcohol.
Over.
The sugar alcohol stuff.
Yeah.
The sugar substitute stuff, which helped tide me over, right? Because when I really had a sweet
you were just
tooth
detoxing like crazy. It was
but
bad.
But then after that, like if I had a bite of cake, it would upset my stomach so bad.
Yeah. There's a correlation there.
Like
fill us in. What's the correlation?
But it was like three hours of feeling like crap.
I know.
And I never had that.
I was
amount
so happy.
Every single one of my clients go through that detox phase because every single one of them eats sugar in some form or fashion. And it's funny because give somebody a food journal and say, write down what you eat every single day. And you'll notice that you eat more sugar than you think.
Yeah, absolutely. Food journaling is so important. Yep. Do you have them do that the entire time?
Oh yeah. 100%. That's the only way I can do my job.
Do you have an app that you use in your phone that you recommend or you just write it by hand?
Nope. We have a journal that we've made. It's a PDF document we send to them. And you can make it in Excel. It's very simple. Like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, what you're eating, what you're drinking, any type of reaction that you have, we have them write down what their stool looks like. So is it soft? Is it clumpy?
Right.
Because that informs me. Are you constipated? Are you having diarrhea? And why? Right? There's something in the diet you're consuming
that's causing that.
That's causing that, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah, give them a journal. And then they'll be like, oh my God, I didn't know I ate so much sugar.
Yep.
I mean, I had to do that myself at one point just to realize, okay, I need to kind of back it up a little bit. I've been getting a little lax and eating sugar every day. And that's what I tell my clients too. Like when they're done, I say, you need to continue to eat a whole food based diet. Right. The sugar and the processed carbs, like the breads, the tortillas, all those things, they're great to have every once in a while, but consuming them every day is not going to bring you, the result that you want to keep here, right? Which is like whatever that may be, coming off medications, maybe reversing an autoimmune condition, or just staying and living a healthy lifestyle, right? So yeah, 100% eye opener food journals.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Last thing I would want to say though too, and this is going to blow your mind. Yes. It's not really.
So excited.
No, it's not going to blow your mind. All I want to say is that while I have spent many of my hours and days learning as much as I can, because this is something that I really truly am passionate about. I love digging into research, supplements, ingredients. Like I listen to everybody and their mom that I can to gain more knowledge, because I'm very upfront with clients. Look, if I don't know an answer, I will find out for you, right? If I don't know why you're having this reaction, you better believe I'm going to go back through your journals. I'm going to do some research on this condition. I'm going to do some research on your medication you're taking to make sure that all of those bases are covered, and I find that answer for you. So I don't know everything, but with that, in my personal practice with clients, I know that I don't know everything. And so I am somebody, and I've had this happen to me multiple times, that I pray over my clients because there's only so much I know and there's only so much I can do.
Right.
So I always pray over my clients, and I too pray for guidance. Sometimes I'm like, shoot, you know, God, they're dealing with this inflammation. I've been like really trying to figure out what the heck is going on, what the root cause is. And my scope is very limited, right? I'm just nutrition. Absolutely. Like I can't prescribe. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a DO, right? But you bet your bottom, I'm really determined to find something.
I love it.
And so there have been so many occasions where I have prayed, and literally the next day it was a divine appointment, and God literally drops the information in my lap. He's like, here, Stephanie, this is what you're looking for. And it happened so many times with so many clients, especially one that was dealing with massive, I'm talking about massive hormonal imbalance. She wasn't having a period. Before she met me, she was bleeding for how many months? Like many months straight. Like didn't stop bleeding.
Oh my gosh.
Losing tons of blood. Right. Comes to me, and of course, like I'm praying, and God drops the information in my lap, and I go, okay, I need you to do this. This is like, just trust me, just do this. And it was castor oil packs. I told her to implement castor oil packs.
I saw that on y'all's website.
They're powerful. They are so powerful. And so she implemented it, and the moment she implemented it, she started to have a normal cycle again.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's awesome.
Okay. So I just, as soon as you said castor oil, I wanted to look over here because I love castor oil and I don't really know where to put it. I put it in my belly button, but like one night he walked in.
I can't believe you said it.
He walked in. Of course I'm going to say it. And I was like, I think this is magic. It needs to go everywhere. I'm like, my face, my everything. He's like, you are on the deep end. So I need to get some packs. Packs.
She's not high maintenance. She's pretty easy to get along with, but you've got to be able to roll with the punches.
She went off the deep end with that one.
Like, what are you doing to your belly? I was like, put some castor oil in there. Why not? Just to be good. So I can't wait to do that.
No, castor oil is great, but you don't need to rub it all over your body. Just get a wool pack, put it on the pack, and put it over your liver.
Good.
That's it.
Perfect.
No, they do make other packs that you can put like over your thyroid and all this stuff.
Yeah.
I suggest the liver because remember, the liver is what's congested.
Okay.
And so opening up the liver opens up everything else.
I kind of put it there too.
She slid out of the bed right after she laid down. She goes right under the floor.
Stop. No, we're gonna move along right now. But
well, that was really cool to hear about your patient, and your passion for this comes across clearly. I mean, it is like there's no one would doubt any amount of passion or your just drive to see success in your patients. So how can people who are looking for something like this, how can they find you?
Okay, well, see, this is where I get into social media platforms. So you can follow me on social media on Instagram.
Good. You should.
My Instagram handle is steph.amaris, Amaris. So you can find me there. But I also work with other practitioners in a small business. My sister kind of started the business. It's called Restore Your Health. So we also have an Instagram page where it's called Restore Your Health. And I post over there all the time. And there's a bunch of information on Restore Your Health in regards to nutrition, in regards to root causes, autoimmune conditions, you name it, we discuss it. And tell people like what to avoid, how to eat for that specific condition. We are actually doing a live soon. Me and my sister, probably, I don't know the topic yet, but we were discussing it this morning, probably all about cholesterol.
Yay.
Eat the fat girl.
Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah. Yep. So that's kind of how you can find me. I'm only on Instagram. I don't do anything else because
It's okay.
I'm one that keeps pretty private.
I'm so honored to know you. Thank you for coming on our podcast.
Oh, this was
Seriously,
such a joy.
You're just a delight.
Yeah,
and
I
a wealth
love
of
this.
knowledge.
Okay, so
lucky to have you.
we're not done.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's fine. I was just telling her I love her.
You're acting like you're trying. Oh, no, you can say that.
I could probably move in with you guys.
That would be great.
Part of the family.
You can just cook for him. Great.
Yeah, actually.
I'm going to email you later.
Yeah, that you'd be the third woman in the house telling me what to do because we have a full-time nanny that
And
also helps
she
with the
is
kids.
Oh, that's
our
awesome.
light.
She's been with us for almost 9 years, and I don't have a say in anything at the house. I literally just show up, and
You're so lucky that
I am
Mackenzie and I help
incredibly
you.
lucky.
You know what? That's
Yes.
nice.
It is.
So
She's
wonderful.
He just,
Yeah,
you
we love
know,
you, Mackenzie.
really,
If you're listening to
really-
this, you're amazing.
Yes, but I haven't had to go shopping for myself in a long time. So,
It's like,
In
try this
regards to
on.
anything or
anything,
just food?
anything.
Oh, anything.
I
Clothes,
do.
shoes,
Okay.
all
I
of
do
it.
have to get the oil
What?
change in my own car every now and then, but
I won't do that.
I do get paybeat at home. I live like a king. I am one of the luckiest men on earth. So,
Oh, you're sweet.
but we do have a pass along question from our last guest. And so our last guest was an audiologist, and she has a practice here in where's her practice? Is it in Webster?
Friendswood. No,
Friendswood. That's
Friendswood,
right, Friendswood. She's got a couple locations. She's very entrepreneurial, and we asked her for a pass along question to you.
Okay.
And her pass along question is, what is your why?
What is my why? That's a good question. I don't want to see people where I was, essentially.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I really don't want to see people where I was. I really was at a bad point in life when I was in college, and didn't know the difference. And the more you know, the more you can't take away. Like, you know it.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's literally a decision you're making to either not abide by the knowledge that you've intaken or to make the conscious decision to do it.
Yeah.
So really the ball is in everyone's court, and what you do with that ball is ultimately your choice. And every single day we wake up, we make tiny decisions every day, right? Mm-hmm. And maybe they're insignificant in the moment, but really it adds up to something bigger, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I would say I don't want anybody to be where I was, and especially kids, because I was a kid,
Absolutely.
right? Like, kids nowadays growing up, I feel like have it good in a sense, but not good because of so many things that are tainted in the world nowadays, right? So much tainting, and I can totally wholeheartedly relate to parents and how scared they are for their children nowadays because of all the things. However, what I will say is do not live your life in fear. And I do not live my life in fear. And there is a reason why I do not live my life in fear, and that is because I know the ending of the story.
Yeah.
I know the end of the story. I know how everything will pan out.
Right.
And my Lord and Savior, Lord Jesus Christ, he's won the war, he's won the battle. All these people, government people, officials that are, making money, being greedy, trying to kill you.
Oh, it goes.
She's there.
Look, like, I'm really,
100%.
I'm there. Like, it came. I could tell you
I
so
love
many
this.
other things.
I could just see your mom actually in the room right now.
Yeah, she's like, be
person-
quiet, Stephanie. Look.
but that's great.
Yeah, I just want to see people get better. And actually my goal, like a goal of mine that has been a goal for so long, and I hope I can achieve it before I die, Lord willing, is I want to help people in other countries. I want to go on a mission trip.
Yeah.
I love helping people. I don't care what capacity it's in. I want to help people.
Yeah.
Right. And there's so many things that I keep inside that I don't
Yes, of
share that I
course.
could, because I'm horrible around a camera. I really am horrible.
You're doing
Give
great
me in
today.
front of people and then I'll be fine.
Yeah.
But a camera, I don't do the best
Amazing.
at.
Amazing.
But yeah, just know that you got it. And I don't want to see people where I was. And there's hope. There's always hope.
Absolutely.
You have to keep hope, because what else do you have?
Yep.
Right. Yeah. I just went on a
love
ramble
that.
there. Sorry.
Good. No, that was great.
And I
have
love
to
that
be.
because you just mentioned like you want to help people in other countries, and I'm in this organization. I'm huge into everyone at any level telling everyone else their goals, because if you keep all your goals to yourself, no one else is going to help you get them.
That's so
And but you verbalizing it, making it known to other people. I mean, there's so many things. So my dad is really cool, and he trains astronauts for NASA. He's worked for NASA for
That's awesome.
many like since the 80s. And one of the astronauts asked him, "Hey, do you want me to take anything up to space for you?" It was like a cool thing that we could do. And so my dad made these patches, because they were like flight patches, made a patch and it said "Set no limits." And so from the time I was really young, that was a thing. Like I saw him in the living room making these patches. And then when I turned 18, he gave me one of the patches and a little plaque and a little note from my dad and a letter of encouragement. And I didn't really know what it meant until my roommate. And my roommate kept making up all these excuses why he couldn't do these things. And excuses never flew in my house for me.
Even
like,
for our kids, he calls me like, nope, don't give me excuses right now.
I don't want the excuse. And it's one of those things where, because we can set a limit on ourselves of why we can't accomplish this thing. And I love that you said, like, once you've learned a thing, you know it. Yes. I also tell all of our doctors that all the time, because no one can take that away from you. And whether or not you make the decision based on the information you have, or when you make a decision based on the information you have, you're making a better decision for yourself and for your patients all the time. So I love you. You can move in. You're hired.
Great.
You're whatever you want.
Done.
I mean, this is just so cool. I'm so happy to have met you.
I told you were going to love it.
All right. What is your pass along question to our next guest? We don't know who it is.
Oh, that's a hard one.
Well, that's why her was just ask the next person, what is your why?
Yeah. Okay. I guess we'll do a goal-oriented question.
Okay.
Do it.
Kind of, right? Like, I don't know. This is kind of cheesy. I don't know. I wanted to do a good one.
We love the Velveeta here. Bring the cheddar.
She does not like.
You know what? Actually, no. I got an idea.
Okay.
That prompted an idea.
Okay.
So you can ask them a nutrition question.
Okay.
So how, when you go to the grocery store, how prone are you to looking at the ingredients on a label, or like something to that effect?
Okay.
Like,
fantastic.
do you know anything about nutrition? Something like that.
Yes.
Hopefully that gives you an idea of what to ask.
That's going to be great. I'm like, do you know anything about nutrition? The previous guest wanted to know.
Yes.
It's going to be great.
Yay.
Awesome.
Yay.
All
right, guys. Well, this was so educational, informative. Please rate us. Please like this podcast. Thank you, Stephanie, for everything. This was just full circle. And if you guys want more information on how to get more airway knowledge, you can go to Sleep Well Journey. And if you were a patient looking for an airway center dentist, you can go to theairwaydentist.com. And if you are not in Texas, we'll help you find somebody.
Yep. Like Kalli said, please rate us and review us, because all 10 people that just listen to this, we'd like there to be at least 10 more. So, all right. Talk to you later.
Bye, guys.